Hi students, I hope all are fine. So we just finished our exams and we are entering into serious mode of study again. Okay. So in the last few classes we were dealing about one of the famous scientists. Okay, and his name is Albert Einstein. Okay, we were learning about that. I think we have already finished it, but I hope just to bring you into the context of the chapter, I thought I would prepare a video just summarizing the whole chapter. Okay, so this particular video will be about summarizing the whole chapter of Albert Einstein. That is, the name of the chapter is a truly beautiful mind. We have already seen this, so this particular video would be about only the summary of the chapter. I may not be reading everything, but it is to bring you into the context of the chapter we had been learning. Okay, so we shall start. So we just started by saying, whom do you consider as genius? Okay, who do you consider as a genius? So we found something like about Albert Einstein, how he was considered as a genius. Okay, we said anyone who is extraordinary, we would say that they are genius. They can be genius in their own ways. Some people can be genius in studies, others can be in arts, others can be in sports. Okay, so we cannot consider anyone uh, we cannot we have to compartmentalize those persons who are genius. They can be genius in their own ways. But here what we are seeing about, we are going to see about Albert Einstein, who gave his best to the world, and now we consider him as a scientist, one of the greatest scientists ever have ever lived in this on this earth, on this planet earth. Okay, so we shall just see about the life of Albert Einstein. We have already seen this, but I'm just, as I said, it's a kind of summary. So we found about the birth of Albert Einstein. He was born in Germany. Okay, he was born on 14th March 1879, and we understood that even his mother thought that he was a freak because his head was not proportionate to his body, isn't it? So we already saw that. So after that we found he could not talk till the age of 2.5, and when he started talking, he was he used to say words twice. Okay, the words which was supposed to be said once, he would say twice. Okay, and whenever he goes out for playing, his friends used to call him brother boring, because Albert Einstein was not active in games and so on. He did not like it, but he liked mechanical toys, so he used to be with mechanical toys only. He used to spend most of his time with mechanical toys. Since he was spending so much of time with mechanical toys, when his sister was born, he went and checked her legs and said, "Where are the wheels?" Okay, without wheels, how could she run, or how could she move about? So that was the thinking of Albert Einstein. And then we saw about one of his headmasters who had a serious doubt with regard to the intellectual capacity of Albert Einstein. His headmaster said, okay, Albert Einstein will never be succeeded in anything that he does, okay, or that he is going to do. But Albert Einstein picked up violin because his mother was very insistent in that, and he became a kind of a amateur violinist. He picked up the notes well, and he knew how to perform violin, and this particular uh, skill was there with him till the end of his life. Okay, but we cannot, in the next paragraph what we see is, we cannot consider Albert Einstein as a bad student. Albert Einstein was not a bad student, he was a good student. When he went to the school, he used to score good marks, and But when he was studying, he did not like the way school was being conducted, the regimentation, the discipline that was maintained. He did not like it, so he used to fight with the teachers and so on. And at the age of 15, as we know, he left that school, and it is said he left that school for good. He was in Munich, and he left that school for good. And the previous year, okay, before he left the school, his parents had moved to Milan, okay, Milan. And Albert Einstein had to stay with the relatives, okay, with his relatives. But he could not go for studying, but he pestered them, and he was so insistent, and he went to study. He got admitted in a German speaking school in Switzerland, and there he found what it was more liberal than the school in which Albert Einstein studied. Okay, then, as we know, he was highly gifted in mathematics, and he was interested in physics also. So after finishing his studies, Albert Einstein went to study at the university in Zurich. Okay, and he not only loved studying, but he also had a love. Okay, that is what we are going to see next. He loved Mileva marriage. Okay, science was the not only thing that appealed to the young Albert, but he he also loved Mileva marriage, who was also like him. She was she was exactly like Albert Einstein. She had the desire for studies, she had the desire to learn, and Albert Einstein considered her as an ally against the Philistine. Albert Einstein considered her as his friend, and they fell in love. They used to write letters and so on, and all their letters, they included some scientific terms. We knew that, or we saw that in the class. Okay, the letters are preserved, and in the letters they used to speak in scientific terms. Okay, then what happened in 19,000, sorry, in 1900, at the age of 21 he got graduated, but he was unemployed. So after 2 years he got a job as the in the patent office in Bern. Okay, and he was supposed to be assisting, or he was supposed to be assessing the works of the students. But Albert Einstein did not, he not only did that, but also he worked on his own experiments, and he called his desk as Bureau of Theoretical Physics. He called his desk like that. Then one of the famous papers of 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity. Okay, and in which he said, okay, time and distance are not absolute. Okay, they are relative, and we found the explanation which Albert Einstein gave. Okay, you keep two clocks. Okay, you keep two clocks. The next time when they meet together, they will be different. Okay, if someone moves fast, and if the other clock moves slow, then next time when they meet together, they will show different times. Okay, that's why Albert Einstein said, okay, it is relative. Time and distance are not absolute. And then came his famous equation, that is E is equal to mc square, that shows the relationship between mass and energy. Then we saw about the personal life of Albert Einstein, where he was not able to marry Mileva marriage because his mother was against, because his mother considered her as just like him. Okay, just like a bookworm, her mother used to say. So Albert Einstein did not marry her, but after that, at last they married, but it was not, they did not have a sound married life. Okay, so they Mileva lost her intensity to learn things, which Albert Einstein did not like. So they had to be divorced, and Albert Einstein married his one of his cousins in the same year when he divorced her. Then Einstein's personal chapter, okay, coincided with the rise of world fame. So after that, we saw about the coming of the Nazis regime and the coming of fascism and so on. So before that, in 1915, okay, before that in 1915, Albert Einstein, he published the theory, general theory of relativity. So 1905 he published a special theory of relativity, and in 1915 he published general theory of relativities. And he it was considered, newspapers proclaimed him as a genius, and they considered this as a scientific revolution. Okay, then what happened? And he received a Nobel Prize in 1921, and also everyone acknowledged the work, okay, the work he had done for the world. Then there came the Nazis in Germany, and because since they came, Albert Einstein moved to United States. Then he knew that there was a move for making atomic bomb. So Albert Einstein wrote a letter to Franklin D. Roosevelt saying that okay, a single bomb can destroy the whole area and also more than the area. So he said that like that. But Roosevelt, what did he do? They prepared at a nuclear bombs in secret, and they dropped it in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and we knew what happened during the World War. So Albert Einstein was very sad when he saw that, because one of his inventions was taken negatively in order to hurt the humanity. So from then on, Albert Einstein was against the building up of ammunition or building up of weapon. So he worked against that. He worked for peace. He said he wrote a letter to United Nations, but that letter did not have any impact. Then he worked for peace and democracy after, and he spent his rest of his life working for peace and also working for democracy. He was really against building up of weapons, and he was really against the against war and so on. So when Albert Einstein died, he died as a world citizen because he worked for peace, and he said there should be a world regime which is peaceful, okay, which is peaceful. And he also worked for democracy. Okay, democracy means people are coming in power, so they will know the situations of other people, so he worked for that. So when he died, the world considered him as a world citizen and also as a scientific genius. So this is about the life of Albert Einstein. We have already seen this, but this is just for you to bring you to the context of the chapter that we have already learned. Okay, so we have already seen the new words. Okay, freak, then amateur, regimentation, stifled, liberal, then ally, Philistines, patent, absolute, unraveling, faltered, then deflected, in an uproar, missive, and also visionary. So these are the new words we have already seen. That's why I'm not telling the meaning of it. You already have the meanings given to you. So just to go through this, and if you have not learned it by heart, please do learn. So okay, so we have a worksheet, and the worksheet is this. Okay, there are some incidents given in the life from the life of Albert Einstein. So you need to check the text and write the paragraph, the number of the paragraph in which these incidents are mentioned. Okay, I hope today's class is clear to you and you are already into the mood of the chapter that we are learning. So thank you and bye.